Lotta, we've seen this many times, dozens of times I'd argue, from Toby Green for the Giants in a key moment for his team. It happened again yesterday against the Saints. He stepped up with 4 goals, but it was what he did in the last quarter that I think was most telling. We can just see what he did do by way of setting it up. But there's a massive hanger he takes late in the game and an even bigger season helping, assisting mark that he took in the middle of the ground when the clock was dying down. He's an elite talent, obviously has been for a long time, but again, with those injuries they've got, they needed him to do this as he did it late in the piece. Yeah,
so he takes this big mark, misses a shot, but then seconds later he does this. He goes back with the flight of the ball and takes one of the great marks of the season. So you want to be remembered at the end of your career for standing up in big games, and that's what Toby Green does.
Got injuries, so you factor that in. Buckley's gone down again. Canilio yesterday with the HIA during the actual game. Hogan and Stringer, the doubts over him. But they were exposed for periods of this game by a team, the St Kilda Footy Club, that is not making finals.
Yeah, it could have gone either way. The game, the lead changed over 8 to 10 times. That's how even this game was. St Kilda, the Giants started really well, then the Saints hit back, but it was Darcy Wilson who kicked 5 goals in this game, 23 disposals, 5 goals. So they were opened up. Adam Kingsley, you could see he was concerned for large parts of this game. Good sides always find a way. The top 9 always seem to find a way to beat the bottom 9, but they wouldn't beat Hawthorn playing the way they played yesterday, in my opinion. So they do need to improve.
Yep. The Gold Coast Suns, Lotto, for so long this season have done a lot right, but in the past fortnight they've really made things difficult for themselves. So they lose to the Giants 2 weeks ago, and then on the weekend couldn't even get over Port Adelaide. Now, there was an emotion attached to the Powers performance. I get that. Ken Hinkley retiring after 13 seasons, Travis Boak after nearly 400 matches, but they've left themselves in a vulnerable position right now, haven't they?
They have. They have to now probably go to Perth against a red-hot Fremantle Dockers when they should be playing a top 4 game. Unfortunately for them, they're not going to be there. But Damien Hardwick said, I've got 80% of my list here. But I look at this list and say, you ask too much of your best players. So Rowell, Anderson, Miller and Witts, they do it every week. And you've got Ben King who kicks a lot of goals. But this is the bottom-end players over the weekend who just, look, Jeffrey subbed out with 9 touches, Goulburn, young kid 9, Oscar Adams 9, Sexton 8, Buderick 8, Flanders 8, and then King and Farah kick goals but don't have many touches with that. So I just think that, again, if you can nullify Rowell, everyone's going after Rowell hard now, well then they fall off pretty quickly, which is my concern going into this final.
And the mindset of potentially going into this last game of the season on Wednesday against Essendon, knowing that if they were to win that, they would be a top 4 team, to now being faced with just needing to win it to get into the 8. How does that affect them psychologically?
Well, the only benefit is that they've never played a final before, so they can build up that we're going to create history, get there, and they'll be better for the experience for the year after, but they're certainly not a premiership threat the way they're going.